Good morning, everyone. Today is 12th of January 2022. We have just crossed the baptism of the Lord on Sunday. And we also always remember that we are children of God. God loves us. And Jesus is here to fulfill the promise of God. To fulfill the promise that He has for us. Do we really believe in the Lord? That He's here to save us, to help us, to be always guiding us and there for us. Let us see what God has for us today. The first reading is taken from Samuel. After they have eaten in the hall, Hannah rose and took her stand before the Lord, while Eli, the priest, was sitting on his seat by the doorpost of the temple of the Lord. In the bitterness of her soul, she prayed to the Lord with many tears and made a vow, saying, O Lord of hosts, if you will take notice of the distress of your servant, and bear me in mind and not forget your servant, and give her a man child, I'll give him to the Lord for the whole of his life, and no razor shall ever touch his head. While she prayed before the Lord, which she did for some time, Eli was watching her mouth, for she was speaking under her breath. Her lips was moving, but her voice could not be heard. He therefore supposed that she was drunk, and said to her, How long are you going to be in this drunken state? Rid yourself of your wine. No, my lord. Hannah replied, I am a woman in great trouble. I have taken neither wine nor strong drinks. I was pouring out my soul before the Lord. Do not take your maidservant for a worthless woman. All this time I have been speaking from the depth of my grief and my resentment. Then Eli answered her, Go in peace, he said, and may the God of Israel grant what you have asked of him. And she said, May your maidservant find favor in your sight. And with that the woman went away. She returned to the hall and ate, and was dejected no longer. They rose early in the morning and worshipped before the Lord, and then set out and returned to their home in Rabbah. Elkanah has intercourse with Hannah, his wife, and the Lord was mindful of her. She conceived and gave birth to a son, and called him Samuel. Since, she said, I asked the Lord for him. The word of the Lord. Today's Gospel is taken from Mark. Jesus and his disciples went as far as Capernaum, and as soon as the Sabbath came, he went to the synagogue and began to teach. His teaching made a deep impression on them, because unlike the scribes, he taught them with authority. In their synagogue, just then there was a man possessed by an unclean spirit, and he shouted, What do you want with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God. But Jesus said sharply, Be quiet, come out of him. And the unclean spirit threw the man into convulsion, and with a loud cry went out of him. People were so astonished that they started asking each other what it all meant. Here is the teaching that is new, they said, and with authority behind it. He gave orders even to unclean spirit, and they obeyed him. His reputation rapidly spread everywhere, through all the surrounding Galilean countryside. The Gospel of the Lord. Let's take some time to reflect, to remember the love of God. Okay, today what struck me is, ask and you receive. It's like if we ask long enough, with sincere heart, and really pour our hearts out to Him, He really listens. And God will bear us in His mind. Sometimes, do we really believe? Do we have the faith that He's there? A lot of times it's us that is obstructing this grace that will be sent to us. The graces, and not God not answering our prayer. We are not open enough to receive. We are not praying hard enough. And really communicate, to ask whether is this really for us. It's like, why do we do the rosary every day on a daily basis? It's easier we want to be more holy, or the more you pray, like novena, 9 days, and your prayer will be answered. I think there's certain truth in it, as we see in today's first reading. And I do get peace in that prayer and a conversation with God, and asking Mary to help. I think I do get my own set of comfort, and also hoping that through my devotion, through my constant and continual devotion, that God will always bear me in His mind. And same for my daily reflection, as He gives me a lot of comfort in doing the reflection. May this consistency also grant me this peace and this love, that one day God will always remember me and my request, in a sense. And all this I pray and I ask the Lord to help me and guide me. Amen.